sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, on his country's Independence Day anniversary. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa, on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Faura Jana Singbi, President of the Republic of Togo, on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty King William Alexander of the Kingdom of the Netherlands on his country's National Day. More than 20 Palestinians were martyred and others were wounded in various injuries in Israeli occupation shelling on the area of the Gaza Strip. Palestinian medical sources reported that the martyrdom of 10 Palestinians and the injury of others in an Israeli strike that targeted a house in a Sabra neighborhood in Gaza City. Additionally, 3 Palestinians were martyred in Israeli shelling of a tent for displaced people in a Shati refugee camp west of the city. In the northern Gaza Strip, 2 Palestinians were martyred due to an Israeli airstrike that targeted a gathering of Palestinians in the town of Beit Lahia amid intense artillery and aerial bombardment that struck the northern and eastern areas of the Strip. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney urged Israel to allow the World Food Programme to operate in Gaza, saying that food shouldn't be used as a political tool. This comes hours after the UN Food Programme stocks ran out due to the ongoing Israeli blockade on supplies. Earlier, the World Food Programme announced that all of its food stocks in the Gaza Strip have been depleted, noting that it had delivered its last remaining food stocks to hot meal kitchens in the Strip. It is expected that these kitchens will run out of food completely in the coming days. The spokesperson for the Ukrainian presidency announced that President Volodymyr Zelensky held a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump in Rome ahead of their participation in the funeral ceremony for the late Pope Francis. From his side, White House Communications Director Stephen Ching states that President Donald Trump held a highly fruitful discussion with his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky in Rome. Earlier, President Donald Trump confirmed that fruitful talks had taken place between his envoy and the Russian leadership, calling for a high-level meeting between Kiev and Moscow to reach an agreement. Trump had also previously warned both sides that his administration would abandon its peace efforts if an agreement was not reached soon. This meeting marks the first encounter between Trump and Zelensky since their meeting at the White House in February, which witnessed a verbal altercation between them. Russian President Vladimir Putin received a message from his American counterpart Donald Trump as part of Washington's efforts to stop the war between Moscow and Kiev. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that the special envoy of the American president, Steve Witkoff, delivered a message from his country's president to Putin, addressing the possibility of resuming direct negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Trump had described the talks between his country and Moscow as an important moment in diplomatic efforts to end the war in Ukraine, while Witkoff served as Washington's interlocutor with President Putin amid Washington's efforts to reach an agreement to end the war between the two neighboring countries. 4 people were killed and about 406 were injured as a result of a massive explosion at a port in southern Iran, the state-run IRNA news agency reported. The blast happened at the Raja'i port just outside of Bandar Abbas, a major facility for container shipments for the Islamic Republic that handles some 80 million tons of goods a year. Social media videos showed the black billowing smoke after the blast, and others showed glass blown out of buildings kilometers away from the epicenter of the explosion. Authorities have offered no cause for the explosion yet, and industrial accidents happen in Iran, particularly as its aging oil facilities that struggle for access to parts under international sanctions. Pakistani soldiers fired at Indian posts all along the highly militarized frontier in disputed Kashmir for a second consecutive night. The Indian military said today as tensions continued to escalate between nuclear-armed rivals following a deadly attack on tourists. The Indian Army said in a statement today that soldiers from multiple Pakistani army posts overnight opened fire at Indian troops all across the line of control in Kashmir. Indian troops responded appropriately with small arms. There were no casualties reported, the statement added. After the attack, India and Pakistan unleashed a raft of measures against each other, with Pakistan closing its airspace to Indian airlines and India suspending the 1960 Indus Water Treaty that regulates water sharing from the Indus River and its tributaries. Still to come on News Bulletin. The second edition of Oman Broadband Governorate's Marathon kicks off in the Wilaya of Nizwa. The Oman Company for the Development of the Special Economic Zone at Duqm, Tatweer, announced that the asset portfolio it manages in Duqm rose by the end of last year to reach around 1,200 million Omani riyals. The assets and public facilities managed by the company include wastewater treatment plants, a number of major and secondary road projects, public facilities, dams, water drainage canals, parks and administrative buildings, in addition to operation and maintenance, supervision of asset sustainability, and following up on operation and maintenance with operators of Duqm Port, Airport, and the Dry Dock, the government berth, and many other projects. The Muscat Securities Market Index recorded a rise of 1.39%, closing at 4,576.6 points by the end of 2024, compared to 4,514.07 points at the end of the year 2023. The annual report issued by MSX indicated that the market capitalization increased by 15.93%, reaching 27,595 million Omani riyals compared to 23,800 million Omani riyals. This reflects a growing investor confidence and interest in the market, which saw numerous developments during this period in enhancing the investment environment, applying best practices, and strengthening the trading infrastructure. The second edition of Oman Broadband Governorate's Marathon was held in the Wilaya of Nizwa in the Governorate of Al-Dakhiliya. Nearly 2,000 male and female competitors from inside and outside the Sultanate of Oman participated. Here is more in the following report.
At the gates of Nizwa's traditional market, runners from Oman and beyond gathered under the morning sky for the second Oman Broadband Governors Marathon. Held in the historic wilaya of Nizwa, the event aimed to create a platform for people of all ages to embrace a more active and healthier lifestyle.
It's amazing. Like, Nizwa is beautiful. It's a little hot today, but like it was good. Like, running through the little streets was super interesting. Like, obviously it's hard to do fast times on the smaller streets, but it's much more interesting than just on a highway. So you have lots of stuff to look at, much more technical. So it's good, made for really good racing and a good environment, like lots of nice people. So yeah.
Energy surged through the streets as runners competed across distances of 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers, the fun run, and the children's race. Darting through the historic landmarks and neighborhoods that give Nizwa its timeless character.
Really nice. I think it's really good to support fitness and health, and in this beautiful environment, I think it's really good to do. I think you did a great job. I really liked going to the souk and to every nice part of Nizwa. And what made me win this race, I think I'm just fit from home. I run a lot at home.
Each stride stitched together a shared story of health, resilience, and joy. For many, the day was not about the clock or medals, but about belonging to a moment that brought together sport, tradition, and celebration. With the finish line crossed, the Governor's Marathon moves forward, carrying a growing community spirit that puts health in motion. Reporting from the Wilaya of Nizwa, this is Saleh Bukhalfan Al-Rahbi, الداخلية, Governorate.
Thank you, Saleh. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty the Sultan congratulates the President of Sierra Leone on the occasion of his country's Independence Day and congratulates the Presidents of South Africa, Togo, and the Netherlands on the occasion of their country's national days. Dozens of Palestinians were martyred and injured and dead in Israeli airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, and the Canadian Prime Minister calls on Israel not to use food as a political tool. And 4 deaths and 550 injuries have been reported so far in a massive explosion at Raja'i port in the city of Bandar Abbas, Iran. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here at the newsroom and the studios. Thank you for watching and have a good night.